Tonight on Cougar News, we mourn the loss of 26 victims in the Texas mass shooting.
Also, we take a look into the new bill that will raise gas prices.
And we hear a story from a local veteran. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Jaylene Aguilera.
And I'm Mauricio LaPlante, and here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. A 44-year-old Bakersfield woman is dead after a fatal collision last night on the 5 freeway north of Valencia Boulevard. According to John Greengard with California Highway Patrol, the crash happened after the woman exited her SUV through traffic cones and was hit by a vehicle. The woman's name is currently being withheld until the family has been notified. This accident comes after a car crash that wrecked 3 vehicles in Newhall last weekend. Authorities say a truck rear-ended a stopped car at the intersection of Sierra Highway and Golden Valley Road. The collision caused a bus driving south to veer into a power pole. The truck landed on top of the car it rammed into. The intersection was closed for about 12 hours, and some Santa Clarita residents were left without power for 48 hours.
Two of the 5 largest mass shootings in U.S. history have happened in the last 38 days. 26-year-old Devin Kelly walked into a small community church in Sutherland Springs, Texas on Sunday. Parents shielded their children as Kelly opened fire, killing 26 and wounding more than 20 others. When Kelly began to leave the church, a man nearby grabbed his gun to confront the gunman. They exchanged fire before 2 men chased Kelly until spun out of control. When found, the shooter had 3 gunshot wounds, 1 self-inflicted to the head. This case is still under investigation. We are praying for those in Texas as we are mourning the loss of 26 victims, aging from 18 months to 77 years old.
Six Flags gives back to the community every fall season through volunteer work. Each year, they complete a project to help in Santa Clarita. Cougar News reporter Francesca Ward gives us a look into where they went this year.
Helping the community is the goal. Project 6 was started 10 years ago as a day of giving back for Six Flags employees.
It's our annual day of service out in the community, so all the full-time team members from Six Flags Magic Mountain were here today at Carousel Ranch.
Volunteering at a place where they disguise therapy as fun.
Carousel Ranch is an equestrian therapy program. We do everything from speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. It's all disguised while being on horseback, so it's disguised as being fun.
Over 200 Six Flags Magic Mountain employees went out to give back to the ranch and participate in various projects. The team works hard all day and returns back to the ranch if the project isn't completely finished in the one day. Not only does this help the community, but it lets the employees come together and work with people they normally don't interact with.
We love it. We love working together, and we just really enjoy getting out in the community and doing our day of service.
The ranch has been serving children with special needs for 20 years and continues to strive to improve the lives of special needs kids all throughout the Santa Clarita Valley. No matter how long you've been visiting the ranch, once you're in, you're always welcome.
Once you're, part of Carousel Ranch, you're always a part of the family.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Francesca Ward.
Santa Clarita will be celebrating their 13th anniversary of being a city. This December, Mayor Cameron Smythe and his fellow council members held their annual State of City, focusing on past, present, and future accomplishments. Cougar News reporter Georgia Rios brings us more on the event.
As Santa Clarita approaches its 30th anniversary, city officials shared their vision for the community's future.
Throughout today's luncheon, we will take a look back at the past 30 years while continuing to strive toward 2020, as work continues on Santa Clarita 2020, our 5-year strategic plan. You will hear more about that from our Honorable Mayor and City Council, who will be sharing some of the city's ambitious projects, goals, and programs.
As the city of Santa Clarita continues to grow, City Council focused on economical, infrastructure, and environmental progress.
Mayor Cameron Smythe focused on his 2020 plan for Santa Clarita, introducing his 6 themes.
Santa Clarita 2020 houses over 60 focus plans, organized into 6 themes: public safety, building and creating community, enhancing economic vitality, community beautification, sustaining public infrastructure, and proactive, transparent, and responsive government services.
Councilmember Bob Keller introduced his vision for a brand new sheriff station in Santa Clarita.
The new headquarters will be roughly 45,000 square feet, with a 4,000 square foot vehicle maintenance facility and heliport, which will allow for continued law enforcement air support and response. The new station will be located on the west side of Golden Valley Road between Center Point Parkway and Robert C. Lee Parkway. Construction on the new station should begin in early 2019 and be ready to go into full service by the fall of 2020.
Partying like it's 1987, Smythe and fellow council members put together a closing video excited for their 2020 project.
Every Monday night, a group of strangers come together in Newhall to give those without a home something special. They're finding that simple acts of kindness are enough to make even the loneliest people feel human again. Austin Dave reports.
For some,
It's pretty.
it's a simple haircut. For this man, he's getting back his dignity.
That's when I had hair. Oh, boy.
It's one of many things that vanished when he became homeless. And he's not alone.
Every week it seems like we have more people coming in. The need is greater.
Kevin Paisano is just one of many real-life church volunteers working to take some of the sting out of being homeless.
You hear them say, I feel like I'm invisible sometimes, and people will just walk past them.
Invisible.
Because when you're homeless like us, nobody spends the time to talk to us.
It's just how Christopher feels.
I'll tell you right now, it's not an easy life.
A life now a little easier, thanks to volunteers, a group of individuals making people feel whole once again.
Thank you.
It's gonna get better, brother.
It's a night where volunteers come to help with laundry, serving food, giving haircuts.
I didn't know what to expect, but my heart is full and I will be back repeatedly.
From repairing bikes to restoring dignity.
I felt the struggles. I've been through the struggles. Now I'm out the struggles because I could thank my bike for it.
All aspects of life that often disappear when you're homeless.
You see the humanity behind folks, no matter what they look like, no matter what they smell like, no matter what their clothes look like. You see people for who they are.
Volunteers making Monday nights an experience, one that leaves a lasting impact.
You know, you give them a hug afterwards, and they do say, I feel human again.
For Cougar News, I'm Austin Dave.
You may want to consider filling up your gas tank soon, as the controversial statewide gasoline tax takes effect. California drivers now pay more at the pump as gas taxes have increased in order to help fix roads. What do you think? How much will it truly help? Our own Louis Tran sheds more light on the impact on increased gas prices.
Veto SB1! Veto SB1!
Hold on to your wallets. California gas prices are on the rise again. Governor Jerry Brown recently signed a new law that plans to raise $5.2 billion a year for repair of California state roads and bridges.
The roads are broken, and they're getting worse, and they're not going to get better unless we get a significant injection of money.
The new Senate Bill 1 is set to increase gas prices by 12 cents per gallon and diesel 20 cents per gallon. While new roads may be ideal, some think otherwise.
At that rate, it's getting a little ridiculous, I'd say.
Here at COC, most students commute daily in order to attend class. While some live nearby, some students have a much longer commute.
Well, I used to drive 100 miles a day, so I'm hearing gas prices go more and more. That's going to decrease how much I actually drive personally.
With the new increase in gas prices, more students may be forced to carpool, take public transportation, and even ride their bikes.
Oh yeah, you'll see a lot more bicycles for sure.
Now this price bump is being seen across the nation. However, you might not notice the increase as the cost is absorbed within the lower winter prices. Drivers are currently paying around $3.40 per gallon. However, California is expected to be hit much worse than other states. So be sure to add lower gas prices on your Christmas list.
Lower the gas prices for one, so I can drive more. That would be nice.
Because prices will continue to gradually rise throughout the following months. Reporting from Cougar News, this is Louis Tran.
So, Jaylene, do you feel there's more you want to say on Twitter?
That's a good question. Christina, can you tell us more? Well, guys, it looks like you might have more room in your tweets. This week, Twitter announced a brand new update that allows users to type 280 characters per tweet compared to the 140 characters in the past. In September, Twitter took a small group of users to test the changes. According to Twitter, only 5% of tweets is sent from 280 character test group, exceeded 140 characters, and only 2% exceeded 190 characters. Good luck to all the users now scrolling through that much more. The Santa Clarita sheriffs have been cracking down on speeders in the Santa Clarita Valley. Yesterday, a patrol officer cited a driver in a Corvette driving at speeds of 107 miles per hour on Newhall Ranch Road between Bouquet Canyon and McBean Parkway. The Santa Clarita sheriffs say it's not worth driving that fast. With the holiday season coming up, please remember to drive safely. In more political news, Virginia's Danica Roem became the first openly transgender state lawmaker in this recent election. Roem was able to beat Virginia's most socially conservative state lawmaker, Bob Marshall, who served for the last 20 years. The race mainly focused on traffic and other issues in suburban Prince William County, but also focused on discrimination against the transgender population. This was a truly historical election night for Americans. And that's what's trending. I'm Christina Arias. For more stories in and around the Santa Clarita Valley, you can check us out at cougarnews.com. Now back to Jaylene and Mauricio. Thank you, Christina. COC offers many programs to help their students. The Student Health Office here in the campus is one that many students don't know about. Deani Ellis shows us what it can do for you.
The Student Health Wellness Center is more than just a place to treat minor wounds and to get Advil.
The Student Health and Wellness Center is used for really helping students get through any kind of medical or mental health problem they might have. You know, from a health point of view, we help with, just simple stuff like, Advil and all that, but we also have men and women's health, reproductive health, and we have nurse practitioners here that can really help you to figure out what's going on from a health point of view.
Although some students have no clue where the health office is even located, some do, and they happen to take advantage of everything COC has to offer.
As a student here, it's a really, really good resource for people that don't really have medical insurance or people that want to get any sort of testing done, or if you have like a common flu or cold and you just need some medication for like sinuses or anything like that.
Everyday life for students can get hard, and COC faculty know that.
If somebody comes in and makes an appointment, most of the time they should be able to be seen in a week. Sometimes it might take 2 weeks. If it's an emergency, we'll see you right away. All you have to do is come in and say, hey, I'm really feeling, this is an emergency. I really need to talk to somebody right now. And we'll scramble. We'll see you right there.
And in case you're wondering where this health office is located.
Right across from the bookstore. People don't know where we are. We're right across from the bookstore in the Student Services Center. And we want to make sure that faculty know this too, because sometimes faculty are not aware of all the services that are available here on the campus. So we're trying to reach out and make sure that faculty, students, and staff all know that services are here.
If you're having trouble and the health office isn't open, you can always call the suicide prevention line. I'm Deani Ellis from Cougar News.
Festivities for the Santa Clarita Marathon began on Saturday with a health and fitness expo. vendors, sponsors, and marathon runners gathered to have fun and promote a healthy lifestyle before the race. Sam Josen has more.
On Saturday, vendors and sponsors of the Santa Clarita Marathon put on a health and fitness expo at the Valencia Town Center. Vendors ranged from the Children's Hospital hosting the Kid K to Whole Foods hosting a build-your-own trail mix station.
Today is our Health and Fitness Expo for the Santa Clarita Marathon. This is our 22nd year doing the marathon, and here's where the runners pick up their bib for the race tomorrow, and it's also the last chance for runners to sign up for the event. There's something for everybody here. We've got a Kid K, a 5K, a full marathon, a half marathon, and there's even a volunteer opportunity, so the event really has something for everybody.
The overall atmosphere at the expo was cheerful, most likely in anticipation for the marathon on Sunday. And with swag bags, flyers, furry friends, and free massages galore, it was tough to feel otherwise.
We are Boston Scientific Neuromodulation, and we are here sponsoring the 5K and also the Health Expo itself in the Runner's Lounge. What we're doing today is we're giving away bags and hopefully educating people on actual pain management through non-pharmaceutical ways. We have actually been sponsoring this for a few years now. We mainly follow the 5K. This is our second year actually hosting the actual Health Expo.
This was also a chance for participants in Sunday's races to pick up their numbers and shirts.
We're doing it with some coworkers of mine, and it's going to be a beautiful day, and we like to get out and run together and exercise, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Sam Josen.
Coming up next on Cougar News, Hart High School puts on a concert to help raise mental awareness.
And a Vietnam War veteran and his wife share their story. Stay tuned.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks donors to schedule an appointment to give now. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please, schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
They've been very caring. They care about every single student that's in the class.
Yeah, everyone seems to be like pretty friendly with each other. Like, no one's really afraid to ask each other for help.
Working with other people, not being ornery, actually listening to what people say, collaborating with them to create a really good product.
It's great to use the same stuff the pros use, especially at a community college.
Hopefully we give them a pathway to have their creativity showcased.
I've gotten a great education.
I love the access to equipment.
I've made lifelong friendships.
I have great teachers.
You're watching Cougar News.
How would you imagine living in the 1960s, enjoying the good old times, or in a warship in Vietnam? A Santa Clarita Navy veteran was not only fighting for our country, but also falling in love. Now over 40 years later, James Faulkner and his wife Nancy are sharing their story. Michelle Lutz takes us back in time.
So now can I kiss my bride after 51 years?
A love that has stood the test of time, and a relationship that began in 1963.
I met my wife Nancy and I joined the Navy in 1963.
A sailor on the USS Vancouver who was fighting for our country while falling in love with a fellow shipmate's sister.
December 1963. However, we did not date then. He just came to my home with my brother and he walks in and I think, I just kept doing homework.
A year or two later, we went to a party and danced.
He knew how to dance, and that's what I love to do. So I liked him, and he liked me.
Not long after, Vietnam War started, and we made actually the first landing in Da Nang.
Before they left, Jamie asked me if I would write him, and I said, of course, I'd love to write you, that's great. And So I did. I wrote him a couple letters, and then he wrote me.
Probably a lot of love letters. I guess it paid off because we're still hanging around and we still love each other.
Before they knew, the letters will be replaced by his return.
For some reason that time, we hitchhiked from San Diego to Los Angeles.
When I came in the door, I was walking to my bedroom to put away my purse, and he's right there in the doorway. And then my brother, my mom and dad were right behind him. He said, "Will you marry me?" Right in the middle of my bedroom door. And of course I said yes.
Preparing to transition to married life, James was also facing a big transition of his own.
I'm thinking back on my dad saying how it's hard for a serviceman to be stable. It wasn't for Jamie. He did the best.
They've shared a lifetime of love, sailing through the smooth and rough waters. Looking back and towards the future, they are nothing but thankful. They have a family.
My family, it means everything.
They travel the nation.
Let's go to Alaska.
Woohoo!
And most importantly, they pay their respects to our country, the one he fought for years ago.
I fly a flag in the front of the house every day to show respect for our country.
I help fold the flag when he brings it down so it doesn't touch the ground. That's our life.
For Cougar News, I'm Michelle Lutz.
So, Jaylene, have you seen the new art exhibit here at COC?
I have not. James, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I sure can. Los Angeles-based painter Sheldon Figgins has chosen the College of the Canyons to showcase his new work of abstract paintings. Cougar News reporter Sam Delgado has more on the art exhibition.
The College of the Canyons Art Gallery is showcasing the work of Sheldon Figgins in a one-person expedition of new paintings called Light Fields. The paintings at the art gallery are all new abstract paintings by Sheldon Figgins. The art gallery was able to showcase Figgins' work through their connections with the artists.
Well, another curator, Larry Hurst, who was the director before I got here, connected with Sheldon and made the arrangements, and so I was able to just facilitate his coming here. But Sheldon is a well-known artist in Southern California, so we're fortunate to have him.
Figgins' large-scale work pairs vibrant colors with unexpected angles that engage viewers both visually and conceptually. Figgins has been creating his elegant abstractions for decades, but this is his first exposition at College of the Canyons. The exposition has been a big success with students who have taken a liking to Figgins' work.
It's pretty well utilized by students, and hopefully more of the community will make its way up here, but I think people find abstraction both intriguing and perplexing, and so it's a perfect kind of opportunity for college students to think more about art.
When Figgins was creating his latest series of work, he wanted to see something he hasn't seen before. Figgins is interested in how we see what we see, and that's the subject matter of the paintings. A special conversation with Sheldon Figgins will be held from 2 to 3 p.m. on Thursday, November 9th. All gallery expositions and related events are free and open to the public. College of the Canyons Art Gallery will continue to showcase Sheldon Figgins' expedition Light Fields until December 7th. With Cougar News, I'm Sam Delgado.
Looking to build up Santa Clarita's music scene, Full Safari invited the public into the wild for their inaugural Music and Arts Festival. A team of reporters guides us into the uncharted.
Outside, this clubhouse looks like just another part of a quiet Valencia neighborhood. But inside, it was an arena for complete hell to break loose. The reason behind the chaos? Santa Clarita band Full Safari wanted to showcase local music and art.
What we decided to do is focus more on the local aspect. It was pretty much up to us to create anything, really.
That's my song.
For some artists, this creation was an opportunity to woo showgoers with their talents. But in Samira Asghari's case, it was the first time she presented art face-to-face with the public.
Having it be in front of people and seeing what people have to say is kind of nerve-wracking.
But despite this, she believes the showcase will benefit her.
You can't really grow as an artist unless you get other people's opinions or other people's reactions, because then you just don't really know if what you're doing is working.
Others thought the festival helped people connect with each other.
I think it's beautiful. Like, you know, not everyone's art is the same, so it's kind of interesting when different people come together. For my first local art show in Santa Clarita, it's pretty amazing.
Meet 24-year-old internet entrepreneur Logan Shippey. Take an inside look on how he discovered his passion for business, but also his success in Forex investing. Here's George Ventura with more on the story.
This is Logan Shippey, 24-year-old from Orange County. But Logan isn't your typical 24-year-old. Logan has had huge success online making money on the internet. He's a social media marketer, entrepreneur, and Forex investor. I asked Logan, when did he exactly discover his passion for business?
I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. My parents run their own business, my aunts and uncles run their own business, my grandpa ran a multi-million-dollar vitamin business, so business ownership was in my blood. And I always knew that I was going to be a business owner and an entrepreneur, but I didn't necessarily know what I was going to do that in.
That was until Logan discovered Forex, also known as the foreign exchange market, which is a global decentralized market for the trading of currencies.
So at the age of 22 years old, I flew out to Utah and I got to meet the founders of this company that had put together education and technology to teach people how to make money in the financial markets. And through that platform, I actually learned how to trade myself. And
Logan now teaches people all over the world on how to trade Forex through his educational programs. Logan is also a co-founder of a new business called Rocket Grow that is a self-automated system that helps business owners grow their social media audience.
Come together and solve problems that are really relevant in today's society. Everyone is using social media now to market their products and services and grow their business, and the people who are streamlining that process are the ones that are going to really capitalize and make a lot of money on this trend with social media.
To keep up with Logan and find out more about Forex investing, check out his website at www.investwithlogan.com. For Cougar News, I'm Jorge Ventura.
Students on our campus are pursuing their dreams of music to make them a reality through a new club called Hippified Records. Cougar News reporter Leah Rosel has more.
Hippified Records began on College of the Canyons as a chartered composers guild, and now it has evolved into a collective of artistic individuals creating events within the valley.
Our goal for these events is to get a buzz going so that we can start a scene here in Santa Clarita, as well as make a network of students that can work together and, make good music.
The club started to give students an education within musical production, but the students believe that with the amount of talent throughout our campus, it should be something more.
We're going to be creating, printing, mixing, mastering our own album to be released in spring 2018, and we hope that people can come on out and support local music, their community college, and a good time.
The local showcase will be held on November 18th at 7 p.m. for $10. For more information, visit cougarnews.com. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Leah Rousseau.
COC held a double feature screening in celebration of the 500 horror film donation from the personal collection of a UCLA professor. Carlos Lara has the story.
It was the last Saturday of October in Hasley Hall. Everything was quiet and barren. The only sounds that could be heard were the small bubbling of water and faint screams coming from Halladay 101. Dr. Khaled Abu El-Fadil, professor of Islamic law at UCLA and horror film fan, recently donated his personal collection of over 500 horror films to the COC Cinema Department. In celebration, the COC Cinema Department put on a double horror feature with The Babadook and Baskin, inviting students, faculty, and members of the community to come along. Some cinema professors even offered extra credit for attendance. A few brought their favorite snacks along for the films. In many ways, it was just like a regular movie theater. Before the films began, Professor Abu al-Fadl spoke to the crowd about the origin of his fascination with horror films.
By being so commonplace in our fears and our anxieties, we also expose the fact that we also share the same concept of good. And that's a revelation.
And Professor Guido Santi, who organized the event, confessed his excitement over having such a vast international horror collection here in COC's possession.
It demonstrates also that other film industries, that we are not aware of because their films rarely come to the States, film industries like in Turkey, in the Middle East, they make great films. And I think this is a great horror film.
For Cougar News, I'm Carlos Lara.
Hart High School rocked the night away for a special cause. Here's Jaylene Aguilera with more on the event.
Hart High School had their first health benefit concert by raising money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital and Project Semicolon.
I'm the president of Club Spectrum, which teamed up with some students from Mrs. Bay's Honors Anatomy class to put on this benefit concert. And my club has decided to give to Project Semicolon, which is a suicide prevention organization that helps to improve the lives of people who have survived suicide attempts, and also spreads awareness about how big of an issue mental health is and how much it affects everyone.
This fundraiser not only gave back to the community with good live music, but also had a bake sale and raffle as well. My eyes don't shed tears before they pour. I've been thinking about you. With talented students and local bands, they all rocked the night away to support a great cause. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Jaylene Aguilera.
And that's that for entertainment. Back to you guys.
Thank you, James. Coming up next on Cougar News, see what high school sports teams are on their way to the playoffs.
And we take a look into a special relationship within the Saugus football huddle. Stay tuned.
In a home fire, can your family safely escape in 2 minutes?
I heard my oldest son holler for mommy, and all I could see was smoke. The boys, we never really worked with them, I guess, on telling them what to do if there's a fire. We lost our child. We lost everything.
Make sure you can safely escape a fire. Practice your 2-minute drill. Test your smoke alarms monthly. Make your plan today.
College of the Canyons creates possibilities.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
You're watching Cougar News.
Welcome back. The annual Santa Clarita Valley Marathon finished last weekend, a race that had many testing their endurance. This Hart invite is also a qualifier for the Boston Marathon, bringing people from all over to compete. Ariana Bogue shows us just how far these athletes will go.
Many people participated in the annual Santa Clarita Marathon. This includes marathon, half marathon, 5K, and kids run.
The first time I did it wasn't a very good time, and I wanted to do a little better, and then my son said, let's go run the half marathon this year, so I kind of wanted to do it with him.
These events are a lot on the body, so people have to mentally prepare or physically prepare for these kind of events.
My experience has taught me is marathoning especially is an endurance sport, and so it requires physical fortitude, but I think more than that, the bigger component to me is mental fortitude and the determination and the desire and the passion to have to really do it.
Finish strong! This is Ariana Bogue reporting for Cougar News.
We heard about the loss of Roy Halladay.
Zach, can you fill us in about that?
I sure can. Yesterday, pitching icon Roy Halladay died after his plane crashed into the Gulf of Mexico. Halladay spent 16 years pitching in the MLB for both the Toronto Blue Jays and the Philadelphia Phillies. In 2010, he pitched the league's 20th perfect game, as well as the second no-hitter in postseason history, making him the 5th pitcher to throw multiple no-hitters in the same season. Halladay was only 40 when he died. During the SoCal Finals for California Community Colleges, COC Cross Country picked up the pace to keep up with some of the fastest teams in California. Reporter Mauricio LaPlante takes us to the competition and shows us what it took to make it to the next level.
Every footstep, gasp, and cheer sounded the force driving these cross-country teams to earn a spot in the state championships.
Well, it's a very competitive year, and on any given day, there are 6, 7, 8 teams that could win regionals or the state meet.
Over each mile of the SoCal Finals, the men's and women's COC teams fought for their place at the state championships.
I think if I fall off right now, my team's going to suffer
A little bit. We were doing so well, about 2.5.
I think last time we were here, we were 2nd or 3rd, I believe. And today we got 6th, so a little disappointing.
Although the women's team fell short of their goals, Captain Stephanie Martinez explained that it's not the end for them.
We're hoping podium finish. 1st would be great, but we're hoping 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I know we're going to be training really hard these next 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens at state.
On the men's side, the team did not make it to the state meet, but 2 of their runners qualified individually.
I honestly expected to do worse, but I'm glad that I did do better, and it was a surprise to probably most people out here.
Runner Cody Rolofson qualified for the state meet with teammate Garrett Noldelmeyer. The 2 boys and the girls team are set to compete November 18th in Fresno for the state championship. Reporting for Cougar News, this is Mauricio LaPlante.
With an undefeated season in the Foothill League on the line, Valencia High School looked to stay perfect when they wrapped up regular season play against the Canyon Cowboys in Valencia on Friday.
The Valencia Vikings wrapped up Foothill League play against Canyon High School and tried to remain perfect in league play this season. Start things off in the first quarter, Connor Downs hands it off to Javon Wilson, who shuffles past defenders to find the end zone to cap off a 56-yard run for the Vikings. Still in the first quarter, Downs fakes the handoff to Moises Haynes and finds Zach Semko to make it a 14-0 lead for the Vikings. Javon Wilson had it going all game. This time, Wilson escapes to the right for 32 yards and to give Valencia a 21-0 lead in the first quarter. Valencia's defense gave Canyon a struggle all night as Sean Gallagher threw 4 interceptions in the first half. This game seemed to be over in the first quarter as Connor Downs connects with Mikkel Wright for a 60-yard pickup. the Valencia Vikings would go on to win 59-7. The Vikings play Great Oak High School in the start of CIF playoffs this weekend. For Cougar News, I'm Zach Ferber.
Saugus and Hart met at College of the Canyons to play a crucial game for the Foothill League standings. Cougar News reporter Tanner Nava has more.
With the playoffs just a week away, Saugus and Hart squared off in the key game for second place in the Foothill League race. Hart would get on the board first when their defense broke through the offensive line to force a safety with 1:06 remaining in the first quarter. Hart extended their lead when quarterback J.T. Shrout hit wide receiver Jacob Montez on a screen pass for a 29-yard touchdown early in the second quarter. Saugus would finally get on the board when quarterback Nathan Eldridge scrambled his way through the defense for a 19-yard touchdown run to put the score at 9-7. After building a 22-14 lead, the Hart defense would put the nail in the coffin with a sack by defensive end Thomas Bambrick that would give the Indians a victory.
We're definitely going to be playing better teams in the postseason, so we need to get mentally prepared for faster runners, bigger linemen, quarterbacks who can throw further. So we got to have a good week of practice and just get ready for a big game, try to come back here and play again.
After pulling off a close 22-14 victory, Hart will finish their regular season play with a 7-3 record. Hart, Saugus, and Valencia have all qualified for the playoffs beginning next week. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Tanner Nava.
From an outsider's perspective, the Saugus High School varsity football team is just like any other. However, this team contains a special relationship within the huddle. Ashley Batista gives us a look at what it's like for a family to work together on the field.
Jason Bourne has had a successful 15 seasons coaching boys varsity football at Saugus High. This season, however, isn't like years past. Jason's oldest Angelo is a junior playing under his father on the varsity team, and his younger brother Julian plays on the freshman team. But as Coach Bourne told us, home life and the field are still two separate entities.
You know, it's a challenge to separate the two at times, but for the most part, the boys understand that when they're on the field, it's coach, and as soon as we walk off the field and get in the car, it's dad.
Does Angelo feel the same way? We asked the junior his take on what playing for his father during high school was like.
And I'm on the field with my dad. It's basically, he's been my coach for as long as we've been playing football. So, you know, I'm pretty used to, you know, addressing him as coach when I'm on the field. But when we get back at home, I mean, he's been my dad way longer than he's been my coach. So
you can catch this father-son dynamic duo Friday, November 10th at 7 p.m. when they host Sonora High in their first playoff game of the season. For Cougar News, this is Ashley Bautista.
And that does it for sports. Jaylene and Mauricio, back to you guys.
Thank you. Every week, Santa Clarita Valley hosts a massive swap meet exchange where residents from all around the country act as vendors for our buying pleasure. Cougar News reporter James Genn has more on these events.
Several days a week, Santa Clarita Valley holds a massive swap meet exchange in Saugus's Speedway Arena. Every week, especially on Sunday, residents of the community spend a shockingly low fee of only $3 to get into the meet and peer around the hundreds of vendors and displays, looking for anything and everything that speaks to them price-wise. With a loud country music stadium and many food stands, members of the Valley often spend all day at these events haggling, conversing, and closing deals on clothing, electronics, tools, vintage collectibles, plants, home appliances, and so much more. The amount of variability that each and every vendor offers is astonishing. I could pass by 10 stands in a row, side by side, and still find completely different merchandise in each for lovely prices. The $1 stands are especially popular here, for the vendors here offer every item in their stand, no matter how big or how small, for only $1. Beside the wide variety of vintage items, ranging from things as early as a different century, it seems as though the primary selling point on most stands are mechanic tools. Catching one visitor as he was leaving for the day, I asked him why he specifically visits the swap meet every week.
I buy a lot of stuff, my tools like ratchets, pliers, everything. Spend a lot of money. We sell a lot of tools, ratchets, screwdrivers, everything.
I found that the swap meet of Santa Clarita Valley is for everybody. It doesn't matter how old you are, what your hobbies are, or what line of work you're in. You will find something that speaks to you here. In many ways, it's a super Walmart, carrying anything you can imagine. These local swap meets are held every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, beginning at 7 a.m. sharp, with more than a fair entry fee. This was James Gent for Cougar News.
Interested in the stars? College of the Canyon's local astronomy club held their annual star party at the Canyon Country campus. Christina Arias brings us more.
College of the Canyons has hosted their star parties for about 9 years now, with each year getting more and more popular. The star party invites students and the community to get together to learn about the universe in a much more personal setting at our very own Canyon Country campus. The night was filled with guest speakers, interactive demonstrations, and high-powered telescopes. The local group astronomy club was on site to help folks look into the night sky.
There's nothing beats sticking your eyeball at the end of a telescope and actually seeing that object. So tonight we had kids looking at Saturn, and this was the first time they'd seen it with their own eyes, not just a picture in a book. And it really connects the universe with you emotionally when you do that. You know, our payoff for doing these events is having somebody walk up to the telescope and go, "Whoa, that's awesome!" You know?
The Santa Clarita Community College District has also announced that our Canyon Country campus will be receiving a new permanent science center.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because there's not a lot of buildings here. Like there are a bunch of like little quads, but I think a bigger building would make it like more noticeable, especially put in the front, so that people can like be more aware of the campus.
The Science Center will expand the campus and allow for new academic pathways for students. The star parties are held each semester, so make sure to check your calendar for the next one. For Cougar News, I'm Christina Arias.
And that does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Jaylene Aguilera. Remember, you can catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Mauricio LaPlante. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, COC_Cougar News. And also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.